Hi there, I'm Ken, the founder of MinnoTank. What is MinnoTank? MinnoTank is a platform to connect early stage tech startups and investors through an online pitch. Want to pitch your early stage tech startup to hundreds of investors absolutely free? Interested in investing in early stage tech startups yourself? Head over to MinnoTank.com to join our email list to learn how. All right, everybody, enjoy the pitch.
What's up, guys? This is Phil with BarPass, founder and CEO. BarPass is a better happy hour for adventurous urbanites who seek to discover new bars, meet new people, and expand their drink horizons. So the problem with the industry and the bar industry is consumers are always looking for better happy hours to go to. For bars, on the other hand, they're looking for more business during slower time frames. So we're bridging that gap by setting up events during specific time frames via BarPass app. A little bit about the demographic. It's mostly after work professionals that are looking for somewhere to go at 4:50 p.m. on that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Half of them, almost half is males and almost half is females. To be exact, it's 52% for males and 48% for females. Urbanites, so in very heavily dense work populations, that's where we're finding almost all of our users. And they're people that are really experience seekers. So they want to not only go to happy hour, but have a little themed out happy hour or some sort of event on top of the happy hour. Always helps with promotion. A little bit about the total addressable market. There is over 70,000 bars nationwide, and it's a $25 billion market that's actually increasing about 2 to 3% every single year. I plan on owning 5% of the market share, and how I plan on doing that is, if you look at the dark little patterns on the map, going after the primary markets first, and then the secondary markets after. So with any startup, you really want timing to be on your side. That's one of the #1 factors of success. And luckily, timing is on BarPass's side. We are the first movers to market in regards to promoting happy hours. So happy hours were actually illegal throughout the United States for the past almost 35 years. And not a lot of people know that. Really, what a happy hour is a price fluctuation between a certain time period. So let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m., you could not have a price of a drink go from $8 to $4. You cannot do that. With the happy hour laws that were amended, you were able to do that. So when I heard the news about that, it was something that was huge and important for me to really hone in on, because this is a big deal. This is something that we could run wild with, right? And really be successful with. So BarPass's focus as of this point is to really focus on the promotion of happy hours. Now, later on that might change. Later on that might be, different events, nighttime events, during the day, parties, brunch in the afternoon. We can expand, but for right now, the focus is happy hours and grow from there. So a little bit about the revenue model. We get paid for every single time somebody presses that check-in button when they're at the bar or restaurant, right? So typically what that looks like, from the bar side, they're paying us $5 to $7 for every time someone clicks that button. But at the same time, liquor sponsors are willing to pay $7 to $10 for that same click. So that means we're literally getting between about like $15, $16 is gonna be the average for every single time someone presses that button, that check-in button. On top of that, we're gonna release what's called premium subscribers. So it's basically premium events, and users are able to access this via the app, and it's a paid version basically, that they'd be paying between $20 and $40. It depends on which tier that they actually pick. And they're gonna get experiential events. So a little bit of elevated experience events, I should say. So for instance, I'll give you an example. Mixology crash course, or maybe chef tasting at Sunda. So these are really cool experiences. They're not just your ordinary happy hours. And we're gonna be releasing that so that way people can actually do that once a week if they wanted to, every single week. So the paid version, it's like a come and go as you please. They pay the subscription. They can go to any which one they want to, which is usually 4 per month. And that's going to be a big revenue driver in late 2018. So those are the three main ways that BarPass makes money. There is some more, but I don't want to go too off on a tangent right now. So let's stick with those three for now. So competition, there is some service that's somewhat similar. It's not exactly the same by any means. There's a company called Hooch out there that basically does membership only for $10 per month, and they are not event driven. There's nothing that drives everybody to one place at one time. It's kind of like they list a ton of different venues where you can get a free cocktail. So it's basically a free cocktail app. BarPass is a little different, so it's more event focused. So a little bit about the team of BarPass. I am the founder and CEO, and I have about 13 years experience with bar promotion. So to give you a little background really quick, I started about 2004, started doing this. And I really started at the really big bar and nightclub in my college town. Started doing it basically for beer money to get by. And that worked out really well all 4 years. And I graduated, and that's when the economy just hit. No one was hiring, everybody was firing. So what did I do? I channeled my inner entrepreneur, and I literally just started a company that threw parties at restaurants, bars, nightclubs, hotels, you name it. So, I've been doing this for a very long time. The only difference with BarPass, it's scalable, and we're using technology. So I started a past business that did really well, did over $3 million in sales, 95% margins, so it did pretty well. I also at that time was approached by one of the newer startups under the VC umbrella called Lightbank here in Chicago, and they were actually mocking one of their portfolio companies called Groupon that was doing really good at the time and was still very new. But they wanted to do this in a separate entity with a nightlife division. And they said, hey, why don't we get this guy who's making some noise and has boots on the ground and use him during the day to really ramp up our business, and then he could keep his side business as well. So it was a no-brainer for me. And that really changed a lot of my outlook with business, because I seen a lot of companies start from 5, 10, 15 people and go to 500, 600 to 1,000 people. So scalability just kind of opened my eyes, being in such an atmosphere like a incubator that is backed by a VC. A little bit about Nick. He has 17 years in software development experience, and he's a full stack developer. He came from a unicorn himself in Chicago. And basically combined, we both know a ton about the domain expertise. We have a ton of background in domain expertise. We know a lot about technology. Both of us have startup experience, especially myself. And we have a track record. So we're definitely the right team to do it, without a doubt. So progress, this is one of the strong points that BarPass has, is we have traction. So we went from launching in Q3 of 2016, it was late Q3, with no users, obviously. And today, which is about a year and a couple months after, we are at over 8,000 users without spending $1. So that's really good, because that means that just people are telling other people, and it's an organic growth. So it's really good, because imagine now when we have actual capital, we deploy that capital, what's going to happen, right? We're going to grow times 5, times 10, times 12. For the little diving into some more of the numbers, the invites, so people that's basically inviting, users that are inviting other people via the app, is growing 200% annually. So people love to invite friends to come with them. It's a very social app, right? So that really helps with BarPass, because people are telling people, and that's without us incentivizing them to do so right now. Now, I know we should be, I understand that, and we're going to do that very soon, but so far we have not, and people are still inviting a ton of people. Revenue-wise, $188,000, and that's with minimal amounts of events. So once we start ramping up the events, that's gonna ramp up the check-ins, which we're gonna make even more money way faster. So this is like bare minimum stuff, and we're still rocking and rolling, which is a great, great sign for any investor, because obviously when you pour fuel on the fire, you know what happens. So a little bit about some of the projections. Last year, we're closing out the year with 188. This year, it's going to be $500,000, and that's going to come from a combination of two things. One of them is obviously the check-ins per usual, but we're also going to announce the premium events that I spoke about earlier. So that's going to create two different revenue streams simultaneously. And we're going to close out the year with about $500,000 as long as we deploy our capital around late spring, early summertime. By next year, we're going to have between 30 and 40,000 users that is on BarPass. So you can imagine what that does for the check-ins, because each person, every time they check in, makes us money, no matter if they're a user for 2 years, 2 months, et cetera, and so forth. So retention is really big with BarPass too, obviously. After that, we plan on going to multiple cities. And as you can see, we're making, $2 to $4 million for every single city. And we're just going to keep expanding on each city and learn, the do's and don'ts from the previous city in order to expand faster and kind of understand our deploying of capital, our marketing tactics, and our user acquisition channels. So as you can see on the projection screen, you see how this becomes a very big business in a very short amount of time. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm proposing $1 million in the seed round with a strategic partner. Safe note preferred. I'd rather go the safe note route than equity, but I'm still open to discussing. 30% of that is going to go towards operations, so hiring 2 or 3 people, some of the special events that we put on. And then 70% is going to go towards the growth, the most important part. So that's going to be evolving the technology, and I got some ideas on how we could really evolve it to something even more scalable. The user base, growing that user base to not to 8 to 10,000, but now to 20 to 25 to 30, which obviously, again, increases the check-ins and the retention. Something interesting is happening. If you see, look at Uber, it's the world's largest company that owns no cars. Facebook, the world's most popular media owner, owns no content, et cetera, and so forth. And BarPass is going to be the world's largest bar business that owns no bars, which is pretty cool. I am Phil Castro. I am the founder and CEO of BarPass, and you can learn more about me going to MinnoTank on the deep dive section. And I appreciate you guys watching this today. Hopefully talk to you soon. You can email me at phil@barpassapp.com. Thanks, guys.